Yo, what's up? I'm Gnarly. In today's video, I wanted to break down how I recreated one of my favorite Mac Miller songs, What's the Use? I'm going to show you some of the sounds, plugins, and production choices that I made behind it, and I'm using Complete 26, the Kontrol S88, Mark III, and Maschine Plus. I already posted the full performance video on my channels, so today is going to be more of a behind the scenes look at how I put everything together. So let's take a look at the project. I really love this song, especially the groove and that iconic bass line. When you sit down to remake it, it seems like it's going to be simple, but there's a lot of different choices involved there, so I'm going to talk through all of those choices that I made here. Alright, so starting with the keys. For this part, I'm using Kontakt 8, which is loaded into Complete Control. I have the Electric Keys Phoenix loaded up with a preset, which is Classic Vibe. I think I've tweaked a couple of the macros here and there as well. This is part of the Vintage Keys collection, which you can get in the Complete Standard bundle. It's got that really nice, warm, dusty kind of lo-fi vibe. The perfect fit for this song, and it sits really nicely in the track. One thing that I really love about the S88 is how seamless the browsing is on here. So like if you want to go into the browser and you want to quickly select a different track, it has all of your Kontakt instruments and expansions and stuff loaded in here. So you can browse them really quickly. And then when you have the actual plugin open, it's super easy to change the macros, to adjust the sound exactly how you want to hear it. This means you can stay in that creative flow without having to reach for the mouse and keyboard all the time. It's all here at your fingertips, which makes a massive difference to workflow. So for the guitar chords, where I'm just playing the harmony, which comes in the intro and then loops throughout, I'm using Guitar Rig 7 to get the tone. These are super dreamy in the original, so I wanted to try and kind of emulate that. In Guitar Rig, I've got this Lo-Fi Delight preset open, which I've then tweaked. So you can see here it's got quite a bit of reverb and compression in there, and it gives it this kind of nice washed out feeling. And that's kind of it really. So for the second guitar part, which comes in a little bit later, just follows along with that bass riff. I've used here a different preset, old guitar tapes, and then I've also added a phaser and an auto filter at the end. It gives it that really cool kind of wah-wah effect, which goes really nicely with the bass. So for the drums, I'm using the Maschine Plus and Maschine 3. Most of the sounds I'm using are from the Butter Smooth kit in Aquarius Earth Expansion. It's a really nice groove, those kind of syncopated hi-hat hits. I did actually end up swapping out the kit because I felt like I found something that sounded a little bit nicer with a sample on Splice. But check this out, there's a couple new things with the latest firmware updates. If we take a look on the control keyboard, you'll see actually here now we get the Maschine display. If you have this connected, this makes it really nice and easy to control if you're using the control and Maschine at the same time. So here we've got all of our Maschine settings. We can scroll through here and we've got all of our effects on there as well. So if you go into the browser, it will also have Maschine. So you can go and you can select your Maschine expansion from the control keyboard itself. There is also the new view inside Maschine software. So if we go into the mixer here, you'll see we also get, let's just hide the library there. We also get the sample editor view inside the mixer, which is really nice for workflow. You see all the samples come up in here on the mixer, and if there's one thing that I think Native Instruments are the best at, it's definitely workflow. Now the fun part, and probably my favorite part of this whole track, which is that iconic bass line from Thundercat. For this I'm using a Square Affinity PJ bass, and that is running through Guitar Rig 7. I started off with a preset, so this one is actually the FET bass. I tweaked a couple of parameters, especially on the bass invader, just making sure that the EQ is sounding okay, and then adding that auto filter on the end there to get this really cool. So it's a really nice like wah-wah effect. I feel like it's that wah-wah movement, which you hear quite a lot in that Thundercat kind of tone. So that's why I ended up going with that. It's such a great tone that I'm probably going to end up saving this as a user preset so that I can use it in future production. So just to talk a bit more about the plugins that I use for mixing, a lot of the tracks I'm using stock Ableton plugins like compression and EQ. Native Instruments also has their own stock plugins. I just am really used to using the Ableton one. So that's what I use a lot of the time. On my master, I don't have it in this track because it causes a bit of latency when you're recording or playing stuff in, but I like to use Ozone 12. Now with Complete 26, you get Ozone 12 elements as part of the bundle. I think it's a really great mastering plugin. I use it quite a lot of the time. I'm a bit lazy, so I tend to use the AI one-click function to get a kind of overview preset, and then I tweak them to just make sure it all sounds okay. I'm using the Ozone 12 advanced version. This just helps to glue everything together and give it a bit more polish. What I tend to do is just play kind of the loudest part of the track, which is around here. And then we can go in here, one click. And it's gonna get a little bit loud in just a second. So once it's done its thing, you can go over here and then adjust some of the settings. I tend to turn these down a little bit, go into the EQ, and you can adjust it a little bit here. You can turn things on and off just to see what they're doing. I think it's a really great tool for gluing all the sounds together and making it sound a little bit more polished. Overall, I'm just a really big fan of the Native Instruments ecosystem. Their plugins were some of the first production tools that I properly invested into when I was starting out, and I still use a ton of them today, especially all those really high quality contact instruments. Hopefully this inspires some of you to go and remake some of your favorite songs, because I still think that's one of the best ways to learn about music production. You can check out some of the gear and plugins that I was using today on Thomann. Thanks so much for watching, and until the next time, as always, happy practicing.